Hey, scrappers and recyclers, been a while since we've done a really nice piece of telecom kind of gear. This came in with that last pallet load that if you missed it, I'll put a link here so you can see where it came in. This is an AVAYA, A-V-A-Y-A. It came from some sort of security company, it looks like. Come on, let's dive in and see what goodies are hiding inside. So the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to see if these modules want to come out. They've got these screws on them, so I'm guessing that these are modules that are hot swaps or something of that nature. So let's find out. Let's try the number one. Yeah, number one Phillips works better. All right, now then. Huh. Interesting that the modules don't want to just come out. So maybe they're not so, maybe they're just stuck. All right, well, this is going to be a real, I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a fun scrap, because we're going to be getting some real nice boards from here. They're obviously going to be telecom because they're coming from a telecom device. And so then it's just going to be a question of telecom high or low. This one, once we get all the metal bracketing off of it, we'll go telecom low because it's really not that densely populated. At least I believe it needs a little more oomphy before it can go in the telecom highs. Now this one has got the oomphy I'm talking about. You can see that we have a large number of BGAs along here, along with rows and rows of ICs, more over here, gold edged crystal oscillator, nice big chunky MLCCs. So this is no doubt a telecom high. Of course, we still need to get the metal bracket off here. This one will still go as a telecom high because it's got big, chunky IC flat packs and ICs over here, and then a bunch of smaller ICs on this side. So yeah, this can still go as a telecom high. Again, we're going to be removing the metal bracket. These silver things here are in all likelihood, and let's test one real quick, going to be copper. It does not respond to a magnet, and we should be able to give it a little cut and see the copper edge on it. So those are just grounding pads so that they ground out the static electricity. Alrighty then, let's see, what do we have over here? Ooh, isn't that a nice board? That is one big knockin' ram. Look at that. Man, it's only 8 gigabytes. Nice big RAM stick. I'll check and see. I doubt that there's much marketable value for this because it came from a telecom device. So it would have to be somebody who has a comparable kind of telecom device that would be interested. But we'll look around a little bit and see if there's any opportunity for this. Otherwise, it'll just go into the scrap. All right, now this type of hard drive is a disc. It's got a spinning disc in it. The disc is probably made of glass. And then we've got these nice big heat sinks, Hey, while we're here, let's see what's underneath of that. I'm putting my finger over there so that when I pop the spring on these things, it doesn't go shooting all over the place. Because that's a real nice brass piece right there, and I don't want that going flying all over the shark cage. So then I got to try to track it down. Alright, so we have a couple flip chips under there. We throw around that term flip chip way too easily. A flip chip is a technology where the silicon die is placed facing down, hence the flip, and directly bonded to a substrate using solder bumps. Now, we also know there are BGAs. We talk about the gold-cornered BGAs, ball grid array, where the packaging method uses solder balls form an array on the bottom of the package for connection to the printed circuit board. Now, what we're looking at here is actually a flip chip BGA. So it combines both these methodologies. The die or the flip chip technology is attached to the substrate, and that substrate then uses a BGA for connection to the printed circuit board. Get this battery out of the way before we forget. So we have a couple flip chips there. Here we have a card, some sort of flash card kind of thing. Smart CF card XL, industrial grade, compact flash card. And there's the screws for that hard drive. Might as well get the bracket off while we're there. So that could go as is with our hard drives with the board on them. I have had some requests to do the math similar to what we did for the SATA and the non-SATA hard drives, where you take the board off and look at the value. I'm going to accumulate enough of these to make the math worthwhile, but I'm pretty sure that we're going to find that you might as well just leave the board on, but we'll see. All right, so another Telcom high-grade board, real nice big flip chips, lots of ICs and IC flat pack looking things, big old chunky yellow tantalum capacitors all over the place, oscillators, real nice gold-plated pins along here. So that's a real nice Telcom board there, Telcom High. And as you can see, that bracket came off really easily. Let's see, what are you? So the bracket is ferrous, but I want to get all these copper grounding wire strips off of there. Let's see if there's anything else. This is flathead, a flathead screw. And that's just a plug, a cap for something, who knows. All right, we've got a board in there, so let's go get that board. Dummy, what'd you grab the number 2 for? All right, scoot you guys over there. Not sure what this is, but it's got some thumb screws on it. So let's get those loosened up. Again, it's just another cup. Screws on the side. All along there and on the other side. Don't you wish you could really unscrew stuff this fast? I mean, Mako speed in real life would be awesome. All right. Ooh, doesn't that look pretty? All right, so we have power supply here, boards on that side. And these are just some spacers, getting in the way spacers. You know what? That board probably needs to come out. It probably wants to come out. It wants me on that wall. All right, so that's just an, I think because there's all just lights here, I think that this board serves no purpose other than moving lights, signals for lights. So that's just going to be a low-grade board. We'll probably pop off these tantalums and these ICs and these gold-plated pins and then throw that in the low-grade boards. And of course, we'll get the copper. And then let's see here. This appears to be a riser card. So it's a backplane riser card, just, you know, a little bit different type of arrangement for the plugs, but that's the way they had these boards connecting. Give it a little tighten, and then it unscrews. So these screws were just a little bit jammed up here. That's all right. We give it a little bit of a tightening turn, and then it should, and then it normally, then they unscrew pretty easily. Sometimes it's kind of funny, but sometimes you got to give the screw. Yep, those are out. You take it just a little bit in the tightening direction, righty-tighty, and that will help to crack the bond that has it locked up. And then it unscrews pretty easy after that. Don't know why these decided to lock up, but they did. It happens. There's our power supply. Nice big heavy power supply there. We have a whole bunch of fans. Now, unfortunately, my yard is not buying fans as copper-bearing motors, not these kind of fans. So for me, I just leave these in for the shred. This will be number 3 insulated. I have when they're really nice looking fans, some of them big fans I pull out in the intent to sell them, but just haven't gotten around to it yet. Let's go with the number 1. Let's do the number 1. Might need a longer number 1. Yeah, these screws aren't that bad. All right, let's see here now. We have all the screws out. Now then, how do you I think it wants to slide, it needs to slide backwards. Let me make sure there's no screw on that front part holding things up. No. Okay. Ah, missed a screw. There we go. All right, so another nice telecom board here. Let me just get this junky plastic guides off of it. Yeah, well, we'll get that off in a minute, but you can see we have real nice board here. Gold corner BGAs, 3 of them, 4 of them. Very large IC and IC flat packs all over. Oh, here's a 5th gold corner BGA. Large yellow tantalum capacitors, large chunky MLCCs, gold edge crystal oscillators, gold pins, very heavily plated, gold plated pins. I mean, it's just that nice, deep, rich gold color. So very easy telecom high grade board here. Which has some real good value. For those of you that are really into depopulating because you want to go after the gold, this is like a gold mine for you. I mean, there's all these ICs and these gold cornered BGAs. The gold edge crystal oscillators probably have silver, but you obviously have some sort of gold in there somewhere. And what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 5 of those, and then there's this, which I don't know, if I pop it off and look at the underside of it, it might be gold too. So just some real nice components on this board. Yeah, the back is nothing to get too excited about, but there are some ICs on here. And you may not be able to see it, but it is just loaded with teeny tiny little MLCCs all over the back of it. While we're looking at this board, I want to bring up a question that I got. I get these sometimes, but I recently got it again, so I just thought I would address this. Somebody asked me, why don't I just depopulate everything? And if you do depopulate everything, you know, how can you, what would you sell the board for and such? Now, here's the deal. If you depopulated this board, if you took an air gun with a chisel and you took everything off, you would have a low-grade board. It would be a nothing board, low-grade, trash. Then your question is, how do you get your money back from the components that you have removed? Now, if you are into gold recovery and refining, then you would use all of these ICs and flat packs and gold cornered BGAs, and you would be getting the gold out of them. If you are not a refiner, gold precious metal recovery refiner, you would have to find someone to buy them from you. It's probably pretty easy to sell the gold cornered BGAs. Boardsort.com will buy them. It's probably pretty easy to find someone to buy these ICs. Boardsort.com has a category for ICs. I imagine most of the recovery refiners, e-waste buyers out there would buy the ICs. Where you might run into a little challenge is with the tantalums and the MLCCs and the oscillators. Now, this style of tantalum capacitor, the SMD or surface mount device, black or yellow, boardsort.com has a category. Probably there's other buyers that also have categories to buy those from you. So you might be able to sell those as well. The MLCCs might be a little trickier finding someone to buy those. There probably is some silver in those, so you know there may be somebody out there in the precious metal recovery world that would buy them from you, but it's not as easy or obvious as some of the other ones. The oscillators may also be a little bit tricky to find a buyer for. The gold-plated pins, you could probably get those sold off as gold-plated pins to somebody. So in this case, this board, actually, you could probably sell most of what you would take off of this board. The advice that I always give people, especially when they're new at this hobby, is don't take anything off of the board until you know what you're going to do with it. And I don't just mean, oh, I think I'll try to find a buyer. I mean, know that you have a buyer for it. Call around, check boardsort.com, check with your local yard, make sure you have a buyer for the components before you remove them, and understand what's going to happen to the board when you remove those components. In a board like this, you might also get away with removing one or two of the ICs, maybe a gold cornered BGA and a couple of these flat pack ICs or something like that, without downgrading the board. But you always risk downgrading a board whenever you start to depopulate it. And it's, you know, you don't know for sure when you're going to cross that line. So unless you know for sure what you're going to do with the component, just leave it on and sell the board at whatever maximum value category it will bring you until you have for sure decided what your path is going to be for the device components and such that you recover. For me, this gets sold to boardsort.com as a Telcom high-grade board. I'm going to get to work on this power supply unit, but I'm going to save that discussion for another video because there's some interesting things going on from my perspective on power supply units. In the meantime, if you're enjoying this content in this video, there's a number of ways that you can get more. Obviously, you can subscribe to the channel. We also have the Shark Scrapper membership now, so you can join the Shiver. 3 levels, lots of fun stuff that comes along with being a member of the Shiver. And of course, just watching these videos, giving them a thumbs up so the algorithm knows you like it. The videos popping up on either side here are going to be more of that content. And the round one in the middle is to help you to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. I look forward to seeing all of you on the next one. Have an awesome day and be safe.